Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Once again, we're bringing you a weekly wrap-up of this week's reports, created and hosted by Google's Notebook LM. The AI-created hosts take what they call a deep dive and ponder the future of AI and even AI podcasts. I think you'll find it interesting.
Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive into the world of tech?
Always.
Well, today we've got a whole bunch of articles from Techstination, that website, the one that covers just about every corner of the tech world.
Yeah, they do some pretty cool stuff, from gadget reviews to deep dives on how tech is impacting things like, healthcare.
Exactly, and we're going to unpack some of their latest articles today, like stuff about smart home security.
Oh, and some AI stuff too, right?
Right, AI companions, the whole works.
Some pretty interesting stuff, I think, you've probably heard of Benji Lock.
Oh yeah, with the fingerprint padlocks.
Yeah. For outdoor use even. I think they were even on Shark Tank a while back.
Oh wow, really? Shows you how big this whole biometric security thing is getting, huh? Even investors are totally on board.
Definitely. And speaking of cool designs, did you see the article about the Kwikset Halifax door levers?
With the LEDs, yeah, those are pretty slick.
Yeah, they have motion sensors and everything, so they light up as you approach.
It's pretty wild. Are we moving towards a future where everything in our homes is, smart? I mean, it's convenient and all, but...
Yeah, but is it really making us more secure?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's tough to say. On the one hand, it could mean better security, but then there's the whole issue of vulnerabilities and, are we giving up too much privacy for convenience? It's a trade-off, I think.
Absolutely. Something to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah.
Now, let's switch gears a bit and talk about something that affects everyone. Health.
Okay, yeah.
Techstination had a couple of interesting articles. One about Dr. Michael Roizen. He had some tips for, a healthier year. And then there was another one about raising awareness for hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, HCM.
Oh, right.
And it seems like technology is playing a bigger and bigger role in, preventative care and managing existing conditions.
Yeah, for sure. What's interesting is how it's empowering people to, take control of their own health. Like Dr. Roizen, he was interviewed on a podcast, which is becoming such a popular way to learn about health from experts.
Yeah, that's true.
And for HCM, there are all these online resources and communities that can really make a difference for people dealing with it.
It's really amazing how technology can, spread awareness about these conditions that people might not even know they have. And this focus on access to information, it makes me think about another area where tech is really changing things, and that's AI, artificial intelligence.
Right.
Techstination actually had two really fascinating articles about it. One was about this AI that can actually generate a summary of a podcast. It's called Notebook LM. And the other one was about Jenny. It's a robotic pet designed for people with Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Both those examples show just how fast AI is developing and its potential to impact, so many aspects of our lives.
Well, seriously, it's mind-blowing. An AI that can listen to a podcast and then tell you what it was about, that could change how we consume information, completely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But then on the flip side, you've got Jenny, this robotic pet. And what's interesting is that they actually interviewed Jenny on the podcast, which is, I don't know, it just seems like such a creative way to highlight how AI is being used in elder care.
Wow, that's pretty innovative.
It really is. I mean, who would thought we'd be having conversations with, robot companions?
It's definitely a sign of the times. And, I don't know if Jenny can actually, answer questions, but it does raise some interesting points about AI and, companionship and all that, especially for people struggling with Alzheimer's.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder, are we leaning too much on technology for things that should involve, human connection? What do you think?
That's a good point. I think the key is balance, right? AI can definitely help and support us, but it shouldn't replace actual human interaction. It's a discussion we need to keep having as this tech becomes more and more a part of our lives. And speaking of tech becoming part of our lives, have you seen the articles about the new robot vacuums?
Oh, yeah. The Eufy 3-in-1. Right.
Yeah, that one. And then there's the one Roborock is coming out with, the one with the robotic arm.
Oh, right. Techstination had a whole review of the Eufy. And did you see the battery and dustbin? They detach. So it becomes like a handheld vacuum too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it seems like a lot of these robotics companies are going for that multifunctionality these days. Makes sense.
It's like getting two vacuums in one. But then there's the Roborock one.
Yeah.
The arm and everything. I mean, it's supposed to be able to pick stuff up and wipe surfaces, even tidy up, little messes. It's like a whole cleaning crew.
Crazy. It really does make you wonder, are we headed towards a future where robots just take care of all our chores?
That's the question, isn't it? I wonder what our listeners think. Would you be okay with robots doing everything, or are there some things you'd rather do yourself?
It's like we're on the edge of like a robot revolution in our homes. But before we get too carried away with robot butlers and stuff, maybe we should go back to AI for a second. Like that Notebook LM thing we're talking about, the podcast summarizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was wild. Like having, a little assistant who listens to all the podcasts for you and gives you the key points. Makes you wonder, though, do you think this kind of AI could actually replace, I don't know, podcast hosts, writers?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are asking that these days. And, it's true. Some jobs are probably going to be impacted as AI gets, more and more advanced. But I think it's important to remember AI is a tool, right? It's not necessarily about AI taking over. It's more about how we adapt and figure out how to work with these new technologies.
So you're thinking more along the lines of AI helping us become more efficient, not necessarily replacing us.
Exactly. It frees us up to, focus on things that are more uniquely human. Creativity, critical thinking, those kinds of things. AI can't really replicate that.
True. Those skills aren't going out of style anytime soon.
Mm.
Makes me think about smart homes again. We were talking about the Benji lock and the quickset levers, but maybe we should dive a little deeper into that whole world. What are your thoughts on how smart homes are changing?
I think what's really interesting is how they bring together convenience and security, but also energy efficiency too. I mean, you can control your thermostat, your lights, your security system, even your coffee maker, all from your phone. It's pretty amazing.
It's like having a digital butler or something. But doesn't all that connectivity make you more vulnerable? I mean, imagine someone hacking into your system and controlling your whole house. Do you think the benefits outweigh the risks there?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. I mean, the more connected our homes become, the more we have to think about the potential downsides. And, we are becoming more reliant on these systems, which means we have to be really careful about cybersecurity, choosing brands with good security, keeping your software up to date, being careful about what you share online. Those are all important steps.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good reminder that, tech is powerful, but it can be used in ways we don't always expect. Speaking of powerful tech, what about those advancements in robotics we were discussing? That Roborock vacuum with the arm is pretty impressive.
It really is. And that's just the beginning. Robots are being used in all sorts of industries now, from manufacturing and healthcare to even space exploration. I read an article recently about robots doing surgery. It's pretty incredible how precise they can be.
It's almost like, how far can this go, right?
Yeah.
What happens when robots are so advanced they can do just about anything a human can do? Are we headed towards a future where robots are our coworkers, our caregivers, our companions? It's exciting, but also a little, unsettling.
It's a lot to think about, that's for sure. And it brings up a lot of ethical questions, too. As robots become more integrated into our lives, we need to consider the impact on society. What happens to jobs? How do we make sure they're used ethically? These are all conversations we need to be having.
It's wild to think about how far robots have come.
Yeah.
From simple Roombas to, actual surgical assistants. It's like we're living in a sci-fi movie or something.
Right.
But it does make you think, where do we fit in all this? What does it mean for, humans?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? And
Yep.
honestly, it's not a new question either. Every time tech takes a big leap forward, there's that worry about jobs,
People being replaced and all that.
Exactly. But I think it's more complicated than just, robots taking over.
Oh, so you're not picturing a robot uprising anytime soon?
Well, hopefully not. But seriously, I think it's more about, how we work changing.
Okay. How so?
Think about it. What if machines could handle all the boring, repetitive stuff that, nobody really wants to do?
Yeah, like data entry or something.
Right. Then it frees us up to do the things that are, more creative, more strategic, more fulfilling.
So it's not about losing jobs. It's about, redefining what work even is.
Exactly. Which means we need to adapt, of course, learn new skills and stuff. But it could lead to a much better future for, everyone.
It's a really interesting way to look at it. But as we're talking about this future of work, we have to remember that not everyone has, the same access to tech. What about the digital divide? How do we make sure everyone benefits, not just like a select few?
Yeah, that's a huge issue. I mean, the digital divide affects so much, like education, healthcare, job opportunities, even just staying connected with people.
It really does.
So we need to invest in things like digital literacy programs, make sure everyone has affordable internet, and, make sure technology is designed in a way that's inclusive, that everyone can use it.
That's a good point. It's a reminder that progress isn't just about like cool gadgets and robots. It's about, creating a better future for everybody.
Yeah.
And as we're creating that future, we need to be thinking about, I don't know, the ethics of all this.
Right, absolutely. We can't just focus on what tech can do. We have to think about what it should do.
Yeah.
AI bias, data privacy, even the potential for misuse. Those are all really important things to consider.
So how do we navigate all that? How do we make sure tech is developed and used responsibly?
It's going to take like a multi-pronged approach, I think.
Right.
We need clear guidelines for AI, transparency when it comes to data, and really just a focus on, people's well-being, putting people first.
That sounds like a lot.
It is, but it's something we have to do. Technology is powerful, and how we use it, well, that's up to us. The choices we make now, they're going to shape the future.
That's a powerful thought. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of tech, I want to leave everyone with this. What kind of future do you want to see? And what role will technology play in it?
Yeah, think about that. Stay curious, stay informed, and, keep talking about these things because the future isn't something that just happens to us. We create it.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the world of tech.
That's the deep dive into tech and Techstination for this week, created and hosted by Google's Notebook LM. I'm Fred Fishkin.